Hey, what's up, everybody? I hope you're all doing wonderful out there. Today is the spring equinox, the first real, this is the astrological new year. So happy new year, everybody. I kind of feel like today feels more like the first day of the year than the first day of the year did. We had all those retrogrades and all that, shenanigans going on. And so I'm really excited that, all these energies are coming in. But you might feel like, it's even a little bit intense, a little bit stiff, a little bit difficult, a little bit all over the place, and that's okay. We're going to get all the way into it. And also want you guys, I've been getting a lot of questions about, the people that have been following me on my 30-day reset journey and ask me, why am I doing this? Right. And quite simply, anybody that, when you have a vision or a focus in mind, there's the prep time, to kind of hash out all the details, all the stuff underneath the surface. And then there's a time to bring it up out into, reality and bring it from the ethers into, into the 3D reality of manifestation. So, whenever I get ready to do anything that, I'm really passionate about, I put all my focus, all my attention into it. It's kind of like, when you go to basic training in the military, right? Like you're all in. You burn the ships at the shore, you're all in, you're 100%. And right now, I kind of feel like we are in a place where the universe is calling us to be all in, right? To step into this new beginning, where we're looking at being able to consciously co-create our reality. Now, with that being said, there's a lot of forces out there that are trying to hold us back, trying to stop us, right? This is spiritual warfare, fundamentally, and it's going to continue to evolve and grow. But at the very core, it's our own fears, it's our own doubts, it's our own ego, the voice in our head, that doesn't want to change, that doesn't like change, that doesn't feel comfy, right? There is no comfort right now. Everybody, it's like the ground underneath us is constantly moving, and it feels very unnerving, right? Uranus in Aquarius, right? We as Pluto moves in Aquarius, which is moving this week on Thursday, so it's official. Like this is the week where everything shifts and moves, and Aquarius represents the central nervous system. So we have been living in a sympathetic dominant state for generations, long time, and I believe that's why people have died so young. That's why our lifespans have not been, up until this point, have not been super long, because there's so much pressure, there's so much imbalance in the central nervous system where we hold on to all this gunk. Well, that is about to change, because with Pluto now coming into Aquarius, this is really amping up the age of Aquarius, revving up, the higher vibration and clearing out and purging out, all of this, all this trauma, all this gunk that's been held in our bodies and our DNA and our consciousness for generation upon generation. All right. So there's a lot of unconscious things that are happening right now. And whenever we feel something, we don't know what it is, especially if we're not really in touch with our emotions. It can rile up the nervous system. It feels all kinds of weird, and it can affect our bodies and our minds in all kind of unique and weird ways that we don't understand. And the key is to, when we try to figure it out, when we try to understand it, it's like our ego is trying to navigate this energy of a much more massive energy that's flowing through us. I mean, we have to learn to be, let the car do the car's job and be the driver behind the wheel, not try to be the engine, essentially. I hope that makes sense, right? Because the body represents the subconscious mind. Subconscious mind is 95% of what's going on. So we're not aware of anything. And this all requires faith, right? So we have a major test going on this week. And I would like to say more of an opportunity than test, okay? Because test has kind of a negative connotation to it. So opportunities to step into that faith, that know that there's a divine plan for our life, for our future, for our world to evolve, because we are all evolving and growing. The last time Pluto was in this position was after the Declaration of Independence was signed in the United States. And that's when, before that, it was all about, royalty, the rich and the poor. And then when Pluto came into Aquarius, it activated the middle class. It activated more of like power to the people. So now in this day and age, we're coming into a new level, a new space, a new evolution of power to the people. And the power dynamics of energy are shifting in a major, major way, right? So with this week, today is the equinox. So happy, happy equinox, happy first day of the official astrological year. And it is not without, intensity for sure. And this is like the jump off point. This is the precipice of coming into this whole new world where everyone that chooses to stand in their sovereign authority of knowing you deserve more, knowing that, like life is going to be better, knowing that things are coming to an end, knowing that, good things are coming. That's right, Crystal. It's the knowingness, it's the feeling and focusing on that, embracing the unknown and embracing going into the future that is going to get us there. It's the fear. It's the how do I do this? Like all the dynamics of what's going on and where it's coming from and all these voices in the head, all these weird feelings in the body. It's all these things that are trying to distract us from this process. So today, in fact, on March 20th, we have Venus conjunct the North Node. Now, Venus is now in its home sign, which is beautiful. Venus, Venus in Taurus is much, much more calm and stable, almost like reassuring than in Aries, because Aries, it's impulsive. It's like, I want this, I want that, like all these extravagant things. But Venus and Taurus is like, all right, I deserve this. I'm going to bring that. But I will say that it's also like, right now we have been working with the North and South node in Scorpio and Taurus, right? So this polarity that we've been working with for, the last 16 months is coming to its end, which means that we're in the mastery process of it. So with Mercury conjuncting the North Node, we're looking at like the last 18 months, 16 to 18 months of what we've done work-wise with our value, with our morals, with our ethics, what's right, what's wrong. Do we trust what we believe, right? Do we trust what we're bringing in? And if we're bringing in things that we don't want, why, right? We have to ask ourselves all these questions and see and step into the being holding ourselves accountable and being willing to look and say, hey, look, I'm doing this, this is sabotaging this, or this is not working, and this is working, and why, and what am I doing to invite this into my world? But Venus can bring in a lot of love. It can bring in a lot of abundance, a lot of wealth. It can bring in, a lot of beautiful things. It can also give us the awareness of the things that we don't have that we want. Okay. So it's very important to really sit with that and, trust what you're feeling. And not allow these pesky little fears to control you anymore. I've been connecting to a lot of people lately that are paralyzed by their fears. Now I've been there, right? Like back in the day when I was in the military and I was in Iraq, I remember when I ran my very first mission and I came up to my first IED, I was EOD, bomb disposal. And I went up to my first, I ran my first mission. I came up to my first IED and I pulled this thing out of a bag and it was full up where they had suspected that there was, bomb making material in this bag. And I looked and it was a full up IED with the cell phone and almost shit my pants. Almost. I didn't, but I froze. And I had never felt that feeling before because I had never come up against that experience. And that feeling changed my entire life because, that fear was embedded deep within me, but I had to have that experience so that I could learn who I was at that deeper level, because your fears don't define you, but they will, in certain ways block you from the, the better life, the abundance the happier place that you are meant to be. And we're seeing a lot of these kind of things coming up right now for a lot of people. Okay. This is a time, and for the next 6 months as well, to master your fears, because the fears are going to be looking at you straight in the face. Then you have to ask yourself, like, am I willing to feel this, to trust, to move through it? So you may be feeling drawn to certain people, drawn to particular things, drawn to particular experiences. And with the drawing forward to that, then all those weird, the who, what, why, how, where, all the chatter in the brain might come up and be feeling like, I felt drawn to this, but why? Every step of the way, all right, the way of the heart is one step at a time. And as we're stepping forward, one step at a time through our heart, then we have to ask and see, okay, what is this trying to teach me? Where is this trying to bring me? Where am I going with this? What do I need to learn? What do I need, what part of the growth within my soul am I being called to address right now? And as we gain the courage and the willingness and the resolve to move through that, that is how we move through the fear and get to the other side, because we trust. And eventually we realize, look, fear is not going to kill you. It's being stuck in the fear and making decisions based on fear and having the fear control you that will eventually probably kill you. All right. We don't want that. So with this new awakening energy this week, this is asking us to step up and stand into our truth in a whole new way and trust our guidance, trust our soul's mission and our purpose. And don't try to figure out how it's going to look. It's not going to look like you want it to look or what you think like it's going to look. And you're going to learn about who you are through seeing how it presents itself, through how it's created, through how it activates. There's so much activation in higher vibrational energies right now, and especially there's like some massive solar flares happening here. I think today and tomorrow. And, these solar flares are hitting us with this cosmic radiation that is activating our DNA, that is, having us to see, like, we're seeing our own shit. You have to look at it. You have to be willing to see it, right? But we all have free will. The free will is the choice to look at yourself, or you also have the choice to look away or distract yourself or become consumed with the other side of trying to control. And I promise you that control dynamic is going to be suppressed, or it's not going to go anywhere. All right. Now tomorrow, actually, really, this whole day is a big day. I mean, this whole week is like a big day. All right, because the energies are sort of intermingled. All right, so this is the week where, if we can compare it to a caterpillar turning into a butterfly, right? This is the chrysalis. This is like the deepest, most core part of the chrysalis, where we're going through from being a caterpillar, and we're going to come out the other side of being a butterfly. But now we're a brand new butterfly. We have these new wings. We're like, what are these things? Like, how do I use them? Where do I go with it? I don't get it. I don't understand. So it's all brand new feelings, and we don't really fully understand them. And it may feel a little bit foreign. And this is where trust comes in. And this is where faith. You got to have faith. You have to have faith that these new things, this new world that we're stepping into, really, because it's really is a whole new world that's presenting itself. And we're gonna, at the same time, we're gonna feel these sort of conflicting feelings, where it's gonna feel free, it's gonna feel exciting, it's gonna feel like all this new stuff is coming in, but at the same time, it's gonna feel like, can I do this? Oh my God, this is so big. I don't know what's going on. I don't feel right. I don't feel safe. I don't feel like I can handle it. All those, all these ideas, or what the hell's going on, or I need more of this, that. It doesn't matter your location, where you are physically. This is all energetic. This is all within, inside. So everybody's feeling this energy. Everybody. Okay. So you don't want to isolate yourself, because isolating yourself makes you feel like you're all alone in this when you're not. All right. And this is what the age of Aquarius, coming together in unity, is all about. Coming together. Hey, I've been feeling like, this is why events and having the vulnerability to be around people, and talking about this kind of stuff is so important because when you get around people and you realize, hey, I'm not the only one feeling this weird shit. I don't know. I didn't realize that all this stuff that was going on is not just within me, it's within everybody, right? Separation is not the answer. Connection, continuity, unity is the answer. So that we can, realize and feel like it's okay to be vulnerable around other people. And hey, we're not alone in this. We got support. We got a team. We are all connected. So there's going to be people out there. There's going to be a lot of triggers, a lot of triggering. A lot of people are going to be like, I'm good. I'm out. I don't want to be around or control. The control dynamics are going to get really locked down, really hardcore, right? So we want to watch out for the control dynamics. And when we surrender, like if you keep bringing in things that are like, that's not it, that's not it, that's not it. Okay, then what is it that you meant to learn from that experience? And then as the new things coming in, eventually, when you learn what is learned, you clear the energy out from outside of you because we are magnets, and the magnet is getting stronger and stronger and stronger, and we clear the energy outside of us. And then suddenly it's like, boom, oh, here it is. That's what I was looking for. What's up? Right? And then once you feel that feeling, yeah, okay, let's get it. Then it's that energy, that feeling when you step into it. That's when things start to manifest. The old way of hustling and grinding and doing suffering and doing it hard, it's no longer going to work. This Pluto is going to be in Aquarius for 20 years, guys. This is all new. We're creating a whole new society. Okay. So, allow yourself to step into, the vulnerability of being around people and trusting your instincts, your heart, and getting out of your head, and allowing your wound to be okay, because we also have Mercury that's going to conjunct Chiron this week with Jupiter right there. Chiron's at 14 degrees of Aries and Jupiter's at 16 degrees of Aries. So Mercury is still moving pretty quickly. With the energy, whatever Jupiter's around, it enhances, right? So it's kind of gonna bring back that Chiron Jupiter energy of that deep wound. It hasn't really left, but it's been sort of like, it came up big, like, about a week and a half ago, then it simmered down, and now it's going to come back like, how do I use this or transmute this or alchemize this energy to become my strength as opposed to my weakness, right? And don't forget too, we also have Saturn at 1 degree of Pisces, which is exactly where we had the new moon just a few weeks ago. Okay, so it's like all the universe just pulling up all this shit, and it's really, really intense. And of course, this week we also have Mars. Now, Mars is going to be quincunxing Pluto from 29 degrees to 0 degrees. Okay, let's see here. Really, it's going to be exact at 0 degrees. Okay, but they're both kind of coming into this new sign together. So, Mars not a shadow. So now we have this new direction. We have this new place that we're going. We're no longer learning any lessons from the structure of the life that we want to live. But it's almost like there's no going back. There is nothing back there. And if you're looking at the past, trying to like bring back something from the past, it's only because you haven't moved through it within yourself. So you need to address that and deal with that. Now, of course, things from way back in the past, like ancestral trauma or abandonment and rejection issues, those things are still bubbling and moving through us in order to be released and cleared out. And that's a process, and everyone has their own level and layer of process, especially depending on when you started doing this work, this inner healing work. But I can say that this transitional energy is definitely bringing us to this apex point of really needing to be honest with ourselves and looking at like, okay, what is this? Where are we going? Why am I feeling this? I've connected with a lot of influencers and powerful people that suggest that people with feelings are weak. And I know that's a gross oversimplification, and there are a lot of people that, when they allow their emotions to control them, yes, that does and can make you weak. However, we are emotions are a big part of our body. Like we have 7 different bodies, and the emotional body is one of them. So, that's why in my old alter ego, the the spiritual bodybuilder, it's because I dedicated myself to working on every body within my consciousness, including the emotional body. And I believe once we gain mastery over our emotions, that's when we live our highest vibrational version of ourselves. That's when we become abundant and have all the things that we want. Things start to flow. It's when the communication line between the head and the heart become aligned. And don't get me wrong, it takes good, consistent discipline and structure within self to be able to, do that consistently. Like we can wobble and fall off and this and that. And this is the perfect time to look at that in a really healthy way and say, yeah, I am fucking awesome. Yeah, I am able to do this. Yeah, I am going to create something great because, like life is meant to be lived and, in a happy way to serve. We're here to serve. So when we create something that helps other people, karmically speaking, that's going to come back to us tenfold. All right. So if you've been through a lot of shit, especially if, star seeds or light workers or empaths, whatever label you want to put on whatever word it is that you feel that you are, we're just, sensitive people to energy. And we came in here to clear out burdens from our family lineage so that we can start a new process of creating this new beautiful world, to, step up and to teach love and that we don't have to suffer, right? So, I know, a lot of us, myself included, have had to learn the deep, hard lessons through suffering, but we don't want to pass that down to our children. We want to clear that out. And that's what we're doing right now. And this week is literally the threshold going into that new world, that this new 20-year cycle where it's saying, hey, all right, it's here. We are here. And it's time to create this new world that we all really want to live in. So, don't pay attention to the distractions. Don't pay attention to all the stuff, all the negativity outside there. Don't pay attention to the people that say you can't do it. Doesn't make any sense. It's not logical, blah, 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 blah. Shut all that shit down. Okay. Because typically this, love is not always logical. It does not always make sense. You ever, you fall in love and you do crazy things, right? Like weird, you start acting all kinds of weird because like it brings stuff up. You don't know, right? Now learning how to work with love, unconditional love, is the highest vibration of everything, and that is how we heal. That's how we heal ourselves. Through healing ourselves, we heal our environment, we heal others, and that's how the process works. And that's the gift that keeps on giving. Love. It's all about love. So any lower vibrational stuff is being cleared out right now. And that can feel tough. It can feel vulnerable. It can feel hard. It can feel weird. It can feel crazy. So the people that try to hold on to the craziness, or the people that try to hold on to the control dynamics, the people that are trying to, that are in a lack and that try only for me, and that are doing things in a very narcissistic sense, for a long time they were winning, right? That the tables are turning, and this is the week where the tables have turned. Okay. So allow these things to come through you. Now I will say, now that now Pluto is going to be at 0 degrees. It's going to sit here and just simmer because it moves very, very, very slowly. It's going to retrograde back in, I believe, the end of June, and then it'll come back into Aquarius, I believe, in December or January. It's going to be sitting around those interrected degrees those whole time. So think back to 2008. What were you doing in 2008? I know for me, I had just shifted. I had wanted to go into special operations when I was in the military. I was infantry at the time, and 2007, I finally got accepted into EOD. 2008, I was in EOD school. Then 2009, I got deployed and went to combat, and, into 2010 and whatnot. So this is not exactly the same, but it's a very similar energy to where we're going to cosmic school this year and learning how to upgrade ourselves into our truth, into our full potential, so that we can, start driving home this new vision. But it's not going to fully culminate until next year. So it's like we all want to kind of feel like we want to get somewhere. We all want to be at this place. And we got to be patient with ourselves, and especially your environment that you live in and that you surround yourself, people you surround yourself with. has to be peaceful, like, right? Like we have to get rid of the chaos. And so this year is really all about getting rid of the chaos. Now, if you're the one creating the chaos, now that is another story. That's a problem that you got to deal with. Okay. But if you're watching this type of content, then chances are you're the ones doing the work. And it's just a process of strengthening up those boundaries. Now, I will say for the next couple of weeks, Mars being in Cancer, not the strongest position. It's like we got to feel our feelings, but like Mars is like, I just want to fucking go and get it done. I just want to go and make it happen. And Mars is like, yeah, but you gotta, but you gotta feel all the feelings, right? And with this quincunx to Pluto, it's like, ooh, it's like pushing us like, all right, I don't like this feeling, but this feeling is making me need to double down on getting disciplined, to making it happen, to moving forward, to learning this new thing, to, shifting this relationship in whatever way that I feel like needs to happen, to doing whatever I got to do to get to that next level. Now, be careful of destination preoccupation. I know I have a difficult time with this sometimes too. Like, I just want to get to this next place. I just want to, be there. I just want to make it happen. It's a very intense energy about growth. All right. But it's a very uncomfortable energy that can get you in your head if you're not careful. Okay. So whatever things are not optimal or optimized in your life right now, let it be okay. It is what it is. But move through it with self-love and learning to see, like, look, like I can't carry this anymore. I can't do this. I can't hold on to this. Like if you're the one of the family that everybody's blaming you and you're paying for this and that, or you're trying to get, like your uncle or your brother or your partner or your son or daughter to, do a certain thing or be a certain way, and they're just not having it, you got to let it go. You got to let it go and let it be okay. Because everybody is on their own trajectory right now, and whatever vibration they're in, they're going to attract all the lessons they need to learn, and they're going to attract it very quickly. So when they're ready, you hold space and you let yourself be open to receive that. When they're ready to hear what you have to say, when they're ready to receive what you want to give them, when they're ready to allow, then that's when it's time to have the conversation. That's when it's time to take that action. But if there's any bumping heads, like, no, I disagree. Okay, let it go. Because the energies right now are so solidified that if someone sees something different than you do, there's nothing that you're going to say, do, be, act, whatever, that's going to help them see that. They're going to have to see it from their own journey, from their own experience, right? But if you if you had the highest vibrational outcome in your mind or in your heart for whoever it is that you want, eventually they're going to see it, but you have to let it play out in divine orchestration. That's also another control dynamic. Okay. So allow things to unfold. This week, it's going to be uncomfortable, but also in a way, there's going to be some relief happening. Okay. Because the clarity is going to come in of what needs to happen, of what needs to shift, of what needs to change, of what you need to grow with, of what you need to drop, of what you need to take on, all these different things. And really, ultimately, you just need to let it, be okay. It's holding on to the things that are trying to leave. That's what's going to fuck anybody and everybody up. Okay. So let go and receive, let go and receive, let go and receive. And then, of course, not only that, we are, what's today's date? The 20th? The 20th. So we're almost exactly a month out from the next eclipse cycle. And usually when we come into a new eclipse cycle, we'll start feeling the energies about a month out. Okay. Now, add on that Pluto is square the nodes. I mean, this next eclipse cycle, like we thought 2020 was wild, it's going to get even more intense. Now, the intensity, whether good or bad, is up to us, right? It's up to us what we decide, what we choose it's going to be. So we have to be willing to step into the fire of intensity in our lives for change, right? So Pluto square the nodes. We're going to see a lot of like, I listen to David Nino Rodriguez a lot, and I love it when he talks about what the fuck news, right? So there's going to be a lot of what the fuck news going on out there in the world. And you know what? It's you just going to get your popcorn like, wow, that's interesting. That's interesting. That's interesting. Because a lot of it's not going to make any sense. People are going to, the way people think, right? People are going to be just lost in the prism of their trauma in their own mind, in their own crazy ways of thinking for the things that they used to do. And the people that are very manipulative and doing things that are no bueno for, you know, for the world, for society, we're going to see what they're doing and it's going to make sense to them. But for us, we're going to be like, are you out of your fucking mind? What is wrong with you? But they don't see it because they're not, but because they're not clear. All right. There are so many layers and prisms of fractured spirits and souls in this spiritual warfare. And so these spirits, right? These souls that are like me. I need to get all this, you know, for me to protect myself, especially people that have been in power that have been doing that. They're about to be, you know, like not having a good day. But that's, you know, great for the overall alignment for everyone, and especially the people that are ready to step up and be true leaders of this new world, where we need to bring people together. All right. And you'll know, like, true leaders, like, you know, people that are stepping up are people that you just feel safe around. You can look at a politician or, you know, like an influencer, and you can tell, like, I can trust him here, but I can't trust him with that. Like, it just doesn't feel right. You know what I mean? But it's also whatever energetic frequency that you're projecting, whatever trauma would trauma bond. There's a lot of trauma bonding going on out there, right? This is why healing work, especially with Saturn and Pisces now, healing work is going to become like the new big thing. It already is. I mean, did you see the other day on the news, they were talking about star seeds? I mean, look, like they were kind of laughing at them and talking shit about them, but it's already like it's becoming mainstream. Like people are starting to see and realize. And you know, it's funny because that quote was say, at first they laugh at you, then they think you're crazy, then they want to tell everybody that, you know, how they met you or something like that. Story of my life. Story of my life. Because, you know, I'm most definitely an anomaly in every sense of the word, and I'm cool with that. And I actually, you know, I appreciate that, because I'm always bringing something you don't expect, and it's always in the highest vibrational good, doing, you know, the deepest healing work that I can do for myself as well as on other people. And that's why, you know, I've created a healing center, and that's why, like, every day of my life, um, you know, every day of my life, you know, I'm working on just doing at least one good thing for humanity and to help others, you know, of course, to put me in a better place, but putting me in a better place will put many other people in a better place. And that's what it's all about, right? Awakening. Yes. A lot of this week is a massive crack of the next layer of the veil. So whatever you see going on out there, there's going to be more deception happening that, you know, the darkness is going to try to confuse you about. So don't get it twisted, and do your best to just, you know, stay focused on, you know, whatever your mission is, whatever you're doing within here right now, stay focused on doing whatever is best for you. And, you know, yes, a lot of eggs cracking, right? Got to make a lot of omelets. So with all these different aspects, right? Especially having this new moon at 0 degrees of Aries at the equinox, right? Like having a new moon at 0 degrees is very rare. And 0 degrees is like a 0 point frequency, which means there is no set timeline that we're coming into. In fact, this is almost resetting our ability to create a new timeline. So it's up to us, it's up to you and I, to what we create. And we create whatever we think about, whatever we feel about. Okay. Our frequencies are matching, you know, internally, externally. So you are right now, it is very clear as day, almost in real time, whatever you are manifesting is whatever you are feeling and thinking about within. Okay. So if you're not feeling right on the inside, if you have imbalances or dis-ease, or you're not taking care of yourself, or there's things that are just feeling all kinds of wrong, you need to go figure out and identify what it is. And in fact, that's exactly what I do. So, come see me. I'll help you out. And, so towards the end of this week, we're going to be seeing Venus coming towards Uranus. Now, Venus conjunct Uranus is also another big transit. It technically won't be happening until middle next week. So Cluxiax, what's up, girl? Anyone struggling with not being able to take a deep breath in the last few days? Well, that means that your central nervous system, so this is kind of the Pluto quincunx Mars energy. Your body wants to let go, it wants to clear out. So what are the thoughts that come up associated with that feeling? You got to connect the two, right? And then consciously bring yourself into another state of awareness or being. So do some breath work, or do a sound healing, or do combo. Combo is always great for clearing that shit out. Or get a sound lounge, lay in the sound lounge, or meditate, or do something to change your state. When you do something to change your state, while you're connecting the thought process with the feeling that you have in your body, you will be able to clear it out and get the clarity of understanding what it is that's in there and what you need to let go of. Okay. So whatever struggles, I've been seeing that word a lot too. What are you struggling with? Okay. Now, admitting that, you've been having some difficulty being clear, or, getting aligned. We all are having that going on right now, but try not to associate it with struggle. Instead, shift the energy to what can I do right now to alleviate or bring myself closer to what I want to create. So do you know what you want to create? You're going to ask yourself these questions, right? And if you're in a place, I have no idea, I don't know what I want to, I don't know where I'm going, I don't know what I'm doing, go for a run, or go exercise, go move your body and clean that energy out of your body. And when you're exhausted from exercising, then come back and ask yourself that question again. And when you exhaust yourself that way, you put positive stress to clear out the negative stress, right? Or maybe stretching, or maybe yoga. You got to feel what's right for you. Okay. But with Venus coming up to conjuncting Uranus here, it's going to be at 16 degrees of Taurus. This is great for connecting with community. Venus conjunct Uranus, I have that in my natal chart. And it's all about this more Aquarian age of community and connecting with people. So we're coming up to a time where it's perfect. This next couple weeks, perfect time to get out there, to meet new people, to go to events, like sound healings and all these things that I've been mentioning, right? To meet new people and go into that unknown place and find out, like, how does being around new and different people make me feel, right? How does how does connecting in new ways make me feel? Like, be open, right? But feel into it every step of the way, right? Like, don't get too impulsive, because the impulsivity may be there if you finally, escapism is also too really big there as well. So try to do your best to watch out for being too attracted to disconnection or to escapism. All right. So yeah, anybody that has significant Aquarius placements, we have creativity come out of every orifice of our body. It's very, very powerful. So we have to learn how to work with it, as opposed to getting overwhelmed by it, because it can be a little bit overwhelming right now. And mix that with all the feelings of what is this, what's going on, because there are new levels and layers of creativity being activated in our consciousness. So you got to be careful with trying to think too much, feel too much, do too much. Slowing yourself down and sitting with it and being and just being with the feeling. More being, less doing is really the answer. Now, for me, when I'm exercising in the gym, right, it's like a meditation for me. So this is going to be different and unique for everyone based on what feels right to you. So if something feels off or wrong, you have to discover what feels right to you, and that's going to take experience and connecting with things that are outside of your comfort zone. And Yeah, small batch king, that's what's up. 100%. So it, you know getting out there, and feeling into these new experiences and not running away from the discomfort. There's little like tokens, little nuggets of genius that are in those places of the fear. And when you step into it and you realize that a lot of the anticipation of the fear, or like thinking about going into the fear, it's actually more about the anticipation, not the actual fear itself. And once you step into the fear, or step into the unknown, or step into whatever it is that you've been avoiding, you realize it's not that bad. Okay. In fact, we have a lot of really high vibrational energy coming in right now. And if you believe, truly believe in your heart that all these really great things can happen, they will happen. They will manifest, and quickly. All right. It's kind of like we all have PTSD from the last few years, right? And all these bad things that have happened have beat us down to the point where, like, do I even deserve anything better or good? Or do I deserve to have this happiness or this love or whatever it is that we all want, right? So we have to believe we deserve it. And the more we can surround ourselves with people that support that and believe in us and don't try to control us and push us down, all that stuff is coming up. Okay. And Jupiter is getting too close to the third decan of Aries. I'm very excited for when it gets to 23 degrees, because that's my ascendant degree, and it'll be out of my 12th house. Hallelujah. So whatever house all this stuff's in, please, that's going to be the focal point of the energies that you're dealing with right now, especially with Pluto. What house is Pluto in your chart? I'd say it's going to be really, really deep. If you're in your 8th, 12th, or 4th house, those are all the psychic houses, and those are all like the very intuitive houses. So it's just intense all the way around. But this is also a really great opportunity for us to prepare for eclipse season. When eclipses, the next eclipse comes at 29 degrees of Aries. Okay. There's a lot of anorectic energy. Now, anorectic, it just means that, it's a 29th or 0 degree. I put 28 in there too. It's the degrees of transition from one sign to another. So it's the mastery degrees. It's the amplified, multiplied by 10 kind of energy. So, Pluto is sitting at this amplified energy for the next year. And then to amplify that even more, it's squaring the nodes of fate, which are also coming into the 0 degrees, 29 degrees zone. So this is amping us up in fate and destiny with the deepest part of ourselves, with Pluto, and sort of demanding that we stand up and take charge of our lives. So wherever you have not been taking charge of your life in a change you need to make, there is a change that you need to make, that we all need to make. And we all have to do the hard work. Maybe you feel like you're just like, I'm exhausted, I can't do it. It's so, do it anyways. This is literally like Navy SEAL training for the collective consciousness. All right. Get up there and do it anyways. Because once you take the action and you get out of your head, you realize, oh, wow, I got a lot more in there than I thought. And I can actually do this. Even if it's like, like for me, I just started running again. I haven't ran in like 6 years. Actually, it's been longer than that. It's been like 10 years. Okay. And, first few days, my hips were killing me, my waist, like, oh, it's barely even moving. But now my hips are opened up, and actually after I'm done, I'm feeling good. I feel better, right? It only took a week. In the grand scheme of things, it's not really that long, right? And now, like, my abdomen's getting tighter. I feel fuller. I feel confident. I feel great. I feel better and better, every day that I do it, because I'm also fulfilling promises to myself. So where can you fulfill a promise to yourself in your life in order to improve the quality of how you feel about yourself? Because the better you feel about yourself, the better you're going to attract things out there in the world. Okay. So I think that's what I got for you guys here. Big week here, guys. And it's, of course, it's preparing us for this eclipse coming here next month, and I'll be here to talk about that then as well. But this week, I'll be going live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Today's Monday, a little bit less because I don't have stuff to talk about every single day. And actually, I'm getting busier and busier here as I'm getting my new healing center up off the ground. I really do this for you guys, to keep me accountable and to get the message out to you, but a lot more, it's for my consistency. Okay. So I'm doing it for me, but doing it for me is helping you. And, so it helps everybody. So it's all good in the hood, baby. All right. So if you guys would like a reading with me, please DM me or comment in the section below, and I'll reach back out to you. I'm still setting up my system of scheduling, so just do it, one-on-one. And if you live in the Phoenix area, please feel free to come down to Protege Gym Healing Pathways. We're doing a lot of beautiful work down here, and we're creating events. I'll start posting them on my Instagram as well, for bringing people together and teaching all this cool stuff and connecting with really cool people, so we can unify and really create this new world together. All right. So I love you all very much, and I hope you have a beautiful week.